Boom! Welcome back to Do You Know What I'm Saying? I'm Derek. That's Nita behind the scenes. So today I just wanted to talk to y'all real quick. Maybe talk about a couple travel destinations I enjoyed over the last 6, 7 years. But I think I'm gonna start with South Korea. So let's just get right to it. I don't want to drag this out. I want to get right to it. So traveling and dating in Korea. First, I worked there before, uh, I started dating. So when I first got there, it was cool. When you first get there, they give you the red carpet treatment. It was lovely, right? When you get there, I'm from America, so everything is in Hangul, right? So nothing is in English. So if you go, if you go there, nothing is in English. So when you get off that plane, you're going to be culture shock like man, like no other. If you haven't practiced, if you haven't studied, because when I left, I left out of Arizona. When I left, I had never tasted Korean food. I had never read Korean Hangul. I didn't practice nothing. I just went raw. So when I got to the airport and Incheon, when I got to the Incheon airport, I was like, wow. And then, I mean, the airport in Korea is beautiful. I mean, for real, beautiful. And it sits on an island, so it's real. For me, it's real confusing. I've never seen nothing out like that. Like it sits in the middle of the ocean. What they say the sea sits in the middle of the ocean, and it's I don't know for a newbie it's like whoa. It's like whoa. It's something to see. Like what we gonna land the plane? Where? But when you get off the plane, uh, people are already ready to greet you, just like any other airport. They got the cab dudes, the taxi dudes, trying to get you for your money, trying to tell you oh, I can do this, I can do that. I ended up actually getting a taxi ride, and one of the taxi drivers, yeah, yeah, he tried to get me for a pretty penny. He took me around the corner, right? It was crazy. But the thing was, I had been talking to him for a while. He's from San Diego, just like me. But then he's trying to charge me San Diego prices in Korea. So anyway, we had a little, little disagreement, but at the end, we worked things out. But I had to be the next day. I think I had to be in Gangwon-do. So my job was up in Wasuri, which is the highest and coldest and most snowiest place in Korea, which is up there where they did the Winter Olympics. So that was my first job was up in Wasuri and Gangwon-do. So I'm way up there in the mountains. But a lady before I got there, a lady had picked me up. I can't remember what it was. I think it was in Chuncheon at the bus station over there. Picked me up, and all night, I couldn't sleep because I thought, man, I'm going to miss the bus. These people going to fire me. It's going to be a disaster, and they're going to send me back home. So I'm so paranoid. So I never slept that night. Okay. So I think I got up, got the bus, and went to. We connected somewhere. I can't remember exactly where we connected at, where we all met. Oh, we had to go back to the airport and we had to sit in this designated area, but nobody showed up for about 8 hours. Nobody showed up, so you didn't know if this was the right designated area or what. Now they had a time schedule to be there, so that's the time they would be there. But everyone else, all the foreigners, had to be there uh, before they would get there. Our, I guess, chaperones or teachers before we got there, right? I mean, we got there before them because otherwise we wouldn't have had no transportation to get there. Okay, most of us was either just getting off the plane or got off the plane the day before or the night before and had to get a shuttle back to the airport, right? So anyway, they eventually came, met us, and then we took this long bus ride through the mountains. I'm gonna tell you, in Korea, South Korea, they got mountains upon mountains upon mountains, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's green, but the mountains just keep going, keep going, keep going. And they have roads where I mean, I'm asking the lady like, man, where you taking me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna kidnap us or something? What's going on? You know? But it was a beautiful place. It was a beautiful place when I was there. And when I finally met up with the lady, like I said, they give you the red carpet treatment. As soon as you walk in, they give you the red carpet treatment. They take you out. They basically spoon feed you like a baby because you don't know nothing. You know, you're a foreigner. So you don't know nothing about what you're supposed to do, what steps you're supposed to take. You don't know. So they pretty much take you by the hand, you know, drive you, pick you up from wherever you are. And typically that person that's going to be your chaperone is typically that person going to be your chaperone throughout the contract. Throughout the contract. So that one, whether it's a male or female, you're gonna eventually become friends. There ain't no getting around it. You're gonna eventually become friends. Now you might meet one or two that's kind of shady, you know, but typically 99% of them they're gonna end up being your friend before that contract's out or however long you stay in Korea, they'll probably remain your friend or some type of connection. Actually, I can't say friend. I would say you will build some type of bond because friendship is to me is very, very, very rare in Korea for a foreigner. You know, some won't admit it, but I'm here to tell you the truth. And I've had Koreans admit the same thing to me, so it's not something I'm making up. But once I got up there, they introduced us to different um, team members, the principal, and all of that. I mean, I had to go to every school. I was working at like 5 different schools, so I had to go to every school and meet the principal, the leaders, the head teachers, everything. This is all in like I just got off the plane, just got off the bus, got in another car with someone else. Boom, had to go see these 5 schools. Unbeknownst to me, I was going to be starting work that next morning. So I had to be at work at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock the next morning. But again, like I said, everything is in Hangul and there's so much going on. I didn't remember where the school was. And who could I call? Google Map does not work there. You know, who can I call? How can I get to this place or that place? I don't know the name of the school. Everything was moving so fast and I'm in the mountains. This whole place was Wasuri has one, two, maybe 2 stoplights in the whole place. It's a real rural area. So, but the kids are excellent, excellent. Like I never had a bad day. Never had a bad day with the girls, ever, ever. Because I worked at all boys school and all girls school. But the girls, I was up in the mountains about 2.5 years. I never had a bad day with the girls, not one. Okay, so I enjoyed that so much. With the boys, I would say out of my 2.5 years, I maybe 2 bad days. Maybe. The kids was really good. They didn't like to, you calling them out, you know what I'm saying? They ain't like you embarrassing them. So if you asked them to be quiet, they was gonna be quiet, and they wanted to learn from you so much. So it was like you couldn't go nowhere because you're like a celebrity. You walk out the classroom, hey Derek, or Mr. Turner, hey, hello. Everywhere I went, if I went to the grocery store, boom, everybody knew me. It's a very small town. Everybody knew me. I walked out the grocery store. Before I walked out, they gave me a gift, an extra gift. I went to the military store. They gave me gloves one time. They gave me gloves for the winter season. If I went to a restaurant, they gave me extra food. Like it was just like that. Like when you coming out of America and you experience that, man, it's hard to go, even back to America or any other country. If you ain't never experienced like being a celebrity, even on a lightweight celebrity, man, it's hard to walk away from that. And like I said, I was up there for a while, so I got to learn Korean. I got to travel places that I have never traveled to, and I was traveling with places that was higher ranking than me. These people were higher ranking to me and taking me places, drink with them, eat with them. I mean, staying at hotels where like you ain't got to pay for nothing. top hotels, top restaurants. You ain't gotta pay for nothing. Yo, life was lovely up there. I mean, I would say uh, the best time I had up there was probably during the winter seasons. During the winter seasons, because in the winter season it's so much snow up there and it's so white. It's cold, but it's so white and pretty. All the trees is covering everything. It's so white and pretty. Now, I was living in California before I went there. So I hadn't seen any snow. I never been to the mountains in California, so I never seen any snow. Where my hometown, I've seen snow many times, but at this time, now I'm older, so I haven't seen snow since I was a kid. You know, so, but I was up there. I met so many people, and this was where I would say the biggest military combat unit was, or infantry unit was, because every day they'd be walking down the street, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of troops, and they did cold weather mountain training, where they would stay up in the mountains in the snow and just do training. Days you come outside, there's tanks coming down the street. Next day you come outside, you got dudes standing outside with real hammers. I'm talking about real bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like M16s, M60, AK, AR-15s, you name it. But I don't know what they were having. But when you looked at them, they had that old, like, material where it looked like steel. You know what I'm saying? Like what you see in a movie. Like if they shoot you, like, yo, you knew you was done. You wasn't coming out of it. So, but they was always friendly, always friendly. They, they would nod, they would give you a look. You know what I'm saying? But I never felt intimidated ever. When I would see a police, man, they wouldn't even look you in the eye. They won't even look at you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was just the opposite of where I'm from. The police there were more controlled by the community, which is how it should be back home, which is how it really is back home. But the powers that be have somewhat constructed this way where we have no power. Well, in reverse, there is where the community controls the police. If the police makes the wrong move there, man, they're gonna lose their job, they're gonna lose their rank, they're gonna lose something, because nobody's just gonna let it go. But mind you, Korea is one of the safest places in the world. Just damn near no crime. No crime. I don't think have I seen any crime? If it was in America, it would be a crime. But I have never seen a crime. You know, I've barely seen anyone curse. You know what I'm saying? Kiss my ass. No, I've never heard anyone do any of that. It's the whole time. And again, where I'm from, even if you saw a cat walking down the street, you'd be leery of her. If you see a dog in the street in America, you ready to run across the street, hide in the house, everything. No. Dogs walk around all day long, ain't looking at you, ain't thinking about you. They just like the people. Very calm, very laid back. You see the cats, they don't even stay inside. They stay outside, and their fur is so thick, because they are adapting to that cold climate, and they big cats too. But you see cats walking in the snow up to their chin. You know what I'm saying? Up to their chin. They just be walking through, hanging out like it's nothing every day, all day. Nobody messes with them. They go inside the restaurant, sit down. Like nobody messing with them. Like it's a completely different world. At least in Wasserie, you know, that was like my home away from home, and it was so peaceful. I mean, peaceful. Man, I went up there, and that's where I learned who I was up there. I really learned who I was, because I had I didn't have nobody to talk to. You know, I got a cell phone maybe a month later. I got a bank account maybe a month later. I took some cash with me, so I was good. But I got used to being alone. I stayed in the teachers' dorms. But on the weekends, all the Korean teachers went home. So I Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday all day until they decide to come home about 7 or 8 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock at night. So I would have pretty much the whole building to myself just to either exercise, drink a beer, smoke a cigar. You know what I'm saying? Like just peaceful. I would do all my shopping and stuff on the weekend, have my music blasted because nobody was there but me, and I lived on the top floor. Nobody was there with me. So I really, really enjoyed my time up in Wasserie. I had some sad times where I guess I could talk about that, but this particular video is not like that. This is the good times and my experience that I had in South Korea, while just traveling. I actually dated while I was up there, but that was probably after like 6 months after I got there. You know what I'm saying? I did some dating and all of that, but it wasn't, I mean, it lasted a while, but it wasn't something I really wanted to do at that particular time. Sometimes when you be lonely, you're in the middle of a mountain, because anywhere I would travel to was almost 3 hours. If I went to Seoul, it was 2.5 hours. Depending on the bus, it's 3 hours. If I went to Gyeonggi though, it took me 3.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? If I went to over there by the Air Force Base in Pyeongtaek. Pyeongtaek was another 3.5 hours, damn near 4.5 hours to get there. So, you really, you're so far away from everything and you have no car. And I'm used to having a car all my life. So it can really get lonesome up on this hill, and it's just you and there's no foreigners nowhere, just me. And I don't speak the language. So I'm forced to learn the language, right? I'm forced to, what food is this? Probably for the first 6 months, I ain't eat nothing but noodles. Nothing but noodles because I couldn't pronounce these foods, or I was too nervous, too scared to go into restaurants, because once you start talking, as soon as you walk in, and y'all gonna say, oh, it's, what was it? Hajima, uh, Yo-yo, yo-yo. So, you're basically telling the older lady, come here, or I'm ready to order. But in Korea, now a lot of people I've heard online, they're so rude, they're so this, they're so that. But nah, it's their culture. They don't come to you, to your table, like we do in America. No, you have to call them. No matter how long you're in there, they ain't coming to you. You have to call them, yo-yo. You want something, you have to call them. You want to check, you gotta call them. You want some new food, you got to call them. You know what I'm saying? You want some panjan? Oh, you have to call them. Yogi, oh, panjan just yo. Have to call them. You can't just sit there and think they're gonna wait on you like an American hand and foot. That ain't gonna happen. You know. But once you get acclimated to the culture, it becomes a lot more fun. You adjust better. You understand how they act, how they expect you to act, and the culture is so much different. It's day and night. Actually, between American culture, it's day and the next day to our culture. But I would say most of them loved Americans, and they would tell you they loved Americans. You would rarely, I don't think I've ever heard none say that they don't like Americans. Usually they welcome you, sit down with you, drink some soju with you, drink some, what was that beer? What was that beer? Is it ice? I can't remember what it was called. Car or something. I can't remember what it was called. But we would drink, and the culture there is a drinking culture. So you go there and you don't know how to drink, man, forget it. And soju, the females is drinking hard. They drinking like dudes is drinking. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna party. You gonna party. And nobody's gonna say, oh, you're an alcoholic, you're a drunk, you this, you that. No, no, not the hottest chick can outdrink you. You know what I'm saying? The oldest man can outdrink you. And everybody's gonna get up the next day. I'm talking about we might drink till 5 a.m. Everybody's gonna be at work the next day. Clean. Like nothing happened. Literally ain't talking about what happened. None of that. Back at work, still doing everything we supposed to do. Nothing's out of order. Everybody's doing everything they supposed to do. Oh, this place up in here, Wasserie, I learned so much. And again, like I said, I learned this is where I learned who I was. I end up writing two books up there, two or three books up there. Oh, I wrote two books, was volume one, volume two, and then I started on my third one. So by the time I started on my third one, I was already leaving. I think I was leaving Wassery. I was going down to Wanju. Now Wanju is where it gets a little bit hairy, little bit tricky. You know, Mickey and Tricky over there. Yeah, them stories is not as great and as fun as Wassery, but I still got a whole lot of fun stories in Wassery and places that I went to, you know. But I think the most amazing place I ever seen, I got a picture of it, is where they were ice skating. It was like the lake froze over and they rent the lake out to these guys on bikes, right? But the bike is pulling like a sled behind it, you know. So you get on the sled, whatever it's called, the seat, and then they're pulling you around the ice. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I thought, damn, and it was beautiful. And they had all these, oh, I can't even think of the name of the houses, the original Korean houses. Beautiful. I'm talking about, I've seen some beautiful sights. I traveled, and you really want to see Korea, yo, I think I'll tell that story another day because I did a road trip by myself from the tip of Korea all the way down to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. I did it all by myself because I had a long vacation and I enjoyed it every bit of it. Didn't want no company, didn't need no company, and I just, man, I enjoyed it to the fullest. But I'm gonna leave it right there for now. I just want to talk to y'all a little bit. I'll pick up on that, or I'll talk about the dating scene because I ain't actually really get into the dating scene as much as some of my homeboys did, but I had my share, you know. So I can tell you definitely about some traveling and dating while in Korea. So next time maybe I'll talk about that and tell you what's going on over in Wonju. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Peace.